succession is key. Wouldn't you agree, Colin?
Of course.
Now, Biden clearly showed his diapers to the whole world, and he expected everyone to applaud, but that didn't happen. So now there is talk about who's going to replace him, and the DNC convention will be here in Chicago. And there were two people that were talked about a lot last night, and that was Kamala the Cop Harris and California's superstar governor, Gavin Newsom.
Right.
Hey, folks, if you're from California, type in the comment section below. What was your experience with Kamala and Gavin Newsom when you were living in California or still living in California? Type to us and regale us about your experience, because she seemed to have a little bit of a trouble on CNN as she got grilled about Joe Biden's performance. If you want to see a word salad here, folks, this is it.
John King has described a panic inside the Democratic Party right now because of President Biden's performance in tonight's debate. He's been hearing from Democratic lawmakers and others around the country. Some within your own party are wondering if President Biden should even step aside. What do you say to that?
Listen, first of all, what we saw tonight is the president making a very clear contrast with Donald Trump on all of the issues that matter to the American people. Yes, there was a slow start, but it was a strong finish. And what became very clear through the course of the night is that Joe Biden is fighting on behalf of the American people, on substance, on policy, on performance. Joe Biden is extraordinarily strong.
Ha! Colin, is she lying? Is she lying there?
Name one thing. I'll be generous. Name one thing that he was especially strong on, Kamala. Name one.
Well, again, this is the administration living its own reality.
And
but I'm sorry, on substance and policy and performance tonight. I mean, the president's performance tonight clearly was disappointing for his supporters. CNN is reporting Democratic lawmakers watching the debate were worried about the president's performance. One said it was a disaster. Another called it a train wreck. Those are Democrats, especially worried that Biden did not punch back on Trump's lies.
Listen, people can debate on style points, but ultimately this election and who is the president of the United States has to be about substance. And the contrast is clear. Look at what happened during the course of the debate. Donald Trump lied over and over and over again, as he is wont to do. He would not disavow what happened on January 6th. He would not give a clear answer on whether he would stand by the election results this November. He went back and forth.
None of that matters, though. I expect Trump to say these things.
Right.
I mean, yes, he's going to say these things. I'm not shocked by it.
Make the case for your guy. Make the case for your guy. Like policy, please, something, anything regarding policy to give people. Look, I'm not voting for you, but at least pretend that you care about policy enough. And again, I said this in the last segment. Like, if Democrats were aggressive on policy, in really bare minimum, but if they were able to deliver on some of the things that they even talked about delivering for the people, especially when they have majorities in both houses, I would imagine they would still be at a majority now, and Trump will be irrelevant. Like, yeah, but all this acting, like, it almost feels like they want Trump to win because they want somebody to bitch at for the next 4 years.
I think it's also for the fact that you have people who profited greatly because Trump brought in more viewers. See, corporate media, right, they were going to do everything they can because they have their biases, because they don't know what to do in regards to helping out Biden anymore, because they've done all that they can. And the media, everybody in the media, sees it firsthand, just how, again, their shield wall has finally broken. So the Greek phalanx finally fell. It's sort of like when the Roman legions took on the Greek phalanx. The phalanx failed. Okay, Pyrrhus got his wazoo beat in, and that's what happened. So here's the thing. It is out there, and Kamala she has literally no choice but to lie. And this is supposed to be the replacement for Biden for his successor. Go ahead, Colin. Take it away.
Yeah, I just have a question. Do you really think that people are going to tune in just to hear Trump, 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 Trump all over? I think it's one thing to kind of make
liberals will. Like there's plenty of
I think even now, like I think many liberals are beginning to see the light, especially given Trump's performance.
You think so? Because
I don't think the idea of mainstream media like doing all this circusry, to pretend that they care, but they really want Trump to win in terms of viewership or whatever, is going to work in the way that they think it is. Not this time, especially given what CNN did regarding the debate, which I think, if anything, more people were talking about. The fact that like people cannot even go to their favorite independent media personality to listen to their take on the debate. Like I heard more people talking about that than the debate itself. And so I don't feel like that wasn't a flex CNN in terms of you thinking, oh, we're going to capitalize on this, so you have to watch us. Well, I told people fucking boycott the debate. Like if CNN was going to pull that shit, it's not worth our time or our energy to even look at it. Like now, granted, a lot of other shows, including ours, did it on Rumble and Rockfin and X as an alternative. But even people saw through that and were pissed off by that. And so I feel like CNN in doing that, but then thinking, oh, we can capitalize off it. I think people have caught on to that now and are not going to give them the time of day, again, just to hear about Trump 24/7. I don't know. I think that's just kind of what I'm thinking about it. But I think we're kind of immune to Trump by now, thanks to them. So
yeah. I think at this point, when we look at how the whole world has dealt with Trump and Biden, I think people are ready to move on for something else. No one's excited about seeing two old men fight. But hold on, Kamala has a little bit more because she's still getting grilled.
Forth about where he stands on one of the most critical issues of freedom in America, which is the right of a woman to make decisions about their own body. He has been completely ambiguous and all over the place about where he stands on that issue, despite the fact that he hand-selected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. And that's exactly what they did. And just 3 years ago, we commemorated the 2-year anniversary of Dobbs, wherein women across our country have been denied emergency health care.
All that may be true. All that may be true. But the president of the United States was not able to make that case to Donald Trump on the stage tonight. I mean, you debated against then Vice President Biden 4 years ago, and he was a very different person on the stage 4 years ago when you debated him.
No, he wasn't. Still the same.
I mean, that's certainly true, is it not?
Anderson, the point has to be performance in terms of what a president does. President who incites an insurrection against the Capitol.
Don't you like it? You could hear her voice cracking, and even the Vanderbilt. I mean, I'm sorry, I shouldn't call him that. I shouldn't call him that, but he is a Vanderbilt after all, right? They know that like the media has to tell the truth. Like everyone's panicking, everyone's talking about it. You can't deny it. And this is supposed to be a successor, the VP. She's giving out nothing but word salads. And look, she doesn't care about women's rights to choose. She doesn't care about women's protection. None of the women politicians in Washington, D.C. give a damn about Roe v. Wade. Okay, if Nancy and then Senator who is still alive, Dianne Feinstein, actually gave a damn, they would have fought tooth and nail to make sure that Roe v. Wade would have been codified. Hell, they had a big open opportunity under Obama when they had the super majority in the Senate and House, but Obama said it's not politically expedient at this time. Folks, go out there and vote harder for Democrats.
Right. No, but
go ahead.
Yeah, if for those of you in the chat, like if you heard, I'm not sure if you heard it, Kit, like, but I heard what Biden said in terms of abortion. Like I had to read the transcript, but like when I saw it online, at first I was like, this can't be right. And then someone actually had a clip regarding what Biden said, and it was essentially a layup. Mm-hmm. And Biden fucked up that, like he gave some crazy answer, like. Better find it because I believe that they're trying to edit it from what I'm hearing or try to scrub it off X or whatever. So don't do it now. Like, but when you have a chance, fam, go and try and find that clip of what Biden said about abortion online and see if that made any sense to you. Like, but it was crazy. I can't even tell you what he was saying, but it was crazy what he was saying. So like, Kamala here, like talking about how Biden cares about abortion when he can even give a coherent thought about abortion when he was asked about it at the debate is nonsense.
No, he can't. He cannot give a solid answer, and neither can Kamala. She's not mentally sound.
I got the point that you're making about a 1.5 hour debate tonight. I'm talking about 3.5 years of performance in work that has been historic.
But
whether
is that
it be
the man who we saw on the stage tonight? Is that the other guy on the debate every day?
The person that you saw on the debate stage that has, for the last 3.5 years, up until today, performed in a way that has been about, whether it be in the Oval Office, negotiating bipartisan deals, so that we have an infrastructure, a real infrastructure plan where we're putting trillions of dollars on the streets of America to upgrade our infrastructure. Whether it be the person I see in the Oval Office who is meeting with heads of the military and the intelligence community and in the Situation Room, ensuring the safety of America. The person I see in Joe Biden on the world stage, convening world leaders who often ask for his advice. Most recently, just during the G7 conference. So I'm not going to spend all night with you talking about the last 90 minutes when I've been watching the last 3.5 years of performance.
But this was a debate that your campaign wanted. You pushed for this debate at this moment. Obviously, I mean, you can't honestly say, I mean, can you say that you are not concerned at all having watched the president's performance tonight?
I mean, you can't lie.
I mean, it was the Democrats who pushed for this debate, and they couldn't even prepare Biden to make sure he was ready.
Oh, I found it too, by the way. The video of Biden speaking out about abortion rights, because I'm going to play that.
Okay.
But hold on, we got 5 more seconds. Wait a minute.
Okay.
It was a slow start. That's obvious to everyone. I'm not going to debate that point.
It was a slow start. It was just a debate. It's just a debate. Oh my goodness!
I'm surprised he didn't pull back.
Hold on. Wait, guys. Wait. You know what? We're done. It's over for INN and the Hardlands Media. Jimmy Dore, wrap it up. Do Dissidents. You two guys, it's done. We got it all wrong. It was just a, say it again, Kamala?
It's just a debate.
It was a slow start. That's obvious to everyone. I'm not going to debate that point.
It was a slow start. Oh, that's all it was. That's all it was. Everybody go home. Unsubscribe. It's over. Show's over. But oh my God. Yeah, I forgot that was in there. See, I was up last night putting the show together.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And this was so hold on. I found it. All right. Okay. Now this is abortion rights, folks.
Right.
This is abortion rights for the Democrats.
So
this is their bread and butter.
So tell me, please, fam, tell me if this does not sound crazy to you what he was saying here.
Okay, let's go ahead and pull it up.
Context.
Sorry. Hold on there, folks. Sorry, I thought I had it up there. My fault. My apologies. Hang on. Here we go.
Thank you. President Biden.
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks, you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a doctor, have him decide on what your circumstances are, whether you need help. The idea that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states, let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral. The idea that she was murdered by an immigrant coming in, they talk about that. But here's the deal: there's a lot of young women who are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters, it's just ridiculous, and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Well, that was some 3D chess mental gymnastics right there. Did anybody understand that? Hey, anybody in the viewing audience, seriously, Colin asked you a question. Please, my lovelies, my mornings, my sunshines, can you answer? Did anyone understand that? And that's who Kamala said is performing well, and that's a potential successor. She went to bat for that liar. Colin, are you okay?
I'm okay, but I do have one thing to say in regards to this, and I think just kind of going off of what I was saying in the last segment, like they had 4 years to figure out who the successor of the Democratic Party is going to be. 4 years, because the idea was that, remember, that Biden was only going to do this 1 year.
Yeah, I remember.
And pass on the torch to the younger generation. You mean to tell me you don't have anyone lined up at this point that can take on the role? Like, again, Republicans, like them or not, they have people lined up in spades right now, who, assuming that Trump will become president, can easily take in the reins after he's done. What do Democrats have? Like, and I'm just going with the obvious ones. You telling me that Gavin Newsom isn't ready, or Gretchen Whitmer isn't ready? Like I'm just saying those two because I think those are the names that have, as you mentioned, are kind of like been risen up as of late.
Speaking of Gavin, Mona, here's your favorite California governor. Shout out to Mona Carmona. I know she's doing a lot of good stuff, but hold on, folks. Gavin Newsom, the floor is yours. Was it also a slow start?
You were out there getting a chorus of questions about whether Biden should step down. There is panic that has set in. There is panic that has set in among people who have watched this debate, who are Democrats, people who are strategists, and some even inside Democratic campaigns. Yeah. Do you think it's unfounded?
Well, I think it's unhelpful. And I think it's unnecessary. We've got to go in and got to keep our heads high. And as I say, we've got to have the back of this president. You don't turn your back because of one performance. What kind of party does that? It's been a masterclass. 15.6 million jobs. That's 8 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined. The only thing the last 3 Republican presidents have in common is recessions. Democrats deliver. This president has delivered. We need to deliver for him at this moment. With all due respect, the more time we start having these conversations, go down these rabbit holes, it's unhelpful to our democracy, our fate and future of this country, the world. They need us right now to step up, and that's exactly what I intend to do.
You were out there getting
Oh God, Colin, I saw your face. How are you holding up? I think there's something you want to say to the people. Tell us what is going on.
I'm good. Like, I mean, he has to say this now, but like, if he has his paper, if he's given the word, your go. Yeah. Watch it flip within the next few weeks. So,
we have to look at who a successor could be. Now, I have this on mute, but it's going to be playing in repeat. But tell me. Hypothetically, if I was part of the Democratic Party, if I was the higher echelon, a strategist there, looking at this video right here, oh my goodness, talk about a huge blunder. This is Biden with Jill. Look, I've had to help my senior relatives. Again,
right,
getting off this. Look at this. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, man, but this Democrats. You ran with this. This is what you wanted. There he is. There has to be a successor. There is no one in the Democratic Party. I mean, if you're really going to go all the way as Biden, then yeah, truly be prepared to lose. I'm going to laugh at you while I'm eating my nice ribeye steak dinner. Colin, I'm pretty sure you're going to do whatever you want. All of you in my audience do whatever. We're going to be laughing. I could say across the board, everyone in my audience, all my viewers, all of INN's viewers, everybody, we're going to be laughing because this does not produce strengths. This shows weakness and pathetic lack of understanding by the Democrats. Go ahead, take it away.
Well, this in of itself may not necessarily be a bad thing if you're looking at this in isolation, but the problem is, like, we've seen, especially over the last 2 weeks, him just wandering off, like having several political figures, global leaders having to kind of help him out a little bit, him just kind of looking like he's kind of lost in space. Like, this is all just a culmination of the things that we have seen that now the Democratic Party is basically now saying are deep fakes. Okay. But even with this, with enough preparation, with Democrats wanting this, and with a 2-minute delay, they still cannot have Biden look competent. So of course they're going to freak out because they thought, oh, we're going to get one over the people, like even with a 2-minute delay, that if things go to shit, that we can edit it out or whatever and kind of flip things around so it wouldn't look that bad. But they didn't do that. And like, this is it's so bad that they cannot change it up at all. So,
well, speaking of which, yeah, so this was actually breaking news. So you know what? Actually, I got a brand new graphic. This is because we're not ending this segment just yet, because here's something from the Biden camp that they just spewed out right now. Huge shout out to Hotspot. I love that graphic.
I like that graphic too, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I love it. I love it all. I love playing with all the cool buttons and everything else. But here's from CNN. Colin, I hope you're sitting down.
Yes.
Well, John, the Biden team, as of this moment, plans to pack up what few wins they had on the debate stage last night. You've already seen some of those packaged and posted on social media, and to move on and focus on what's coming down the pike. There are no plans, I'm told, for the president to drop out of the race. And even further, I'm told that the president is still committed to a second debate in September, which is currently scheduled for September 10th and hosted by ABC News, much along the lines of the rules of the debate that was hosted last night. Now, the advisor that I spoke with said that they're not putting too much stock in the conversation last night, and that many of the staffers on the campaign and in the White House also worked on President Obama's reelection in 2012, and they tried to draw the parallel to that first debate that was.
Oh my God, it's night and day. Obama's 2012 run and Biden's 2024 run are two different things altogether. It's like Tony Soprano and what's it? Oh my God, why am I getting a brain fart? It's the guy who mentioned Quasimodo. Bobby, yeah, Tony and Bobby, they're in the diner, and the 9/11's brought up, and Bobby said, Quasimodo, he predicted all this. And Tony says back to him, what? Nostradamus. Quasimodo's the hunchback of Notre Dame. And Bobby says, oh, wow, I never pondered that. But they sound the same. No, Nostradamus and Notre Dame are two different things altogether, okay?
Right.
Obama's campaign, 2012, Biden's campaign, 2024, two different things altogether. And you know what? They're probably all in there. Like, you ever see anyone who's really suffering from manic? Says, oh, I'm great. Now, hold on. This is what it looks like. This one. Oh, yeah, no. Biden's doing great. Yeah, he's great. He's fine. Just stop asking questions. Everything's fine.
Well, I will say this. Let's see what the polls say after this.
Polling is showing that Trump won. People are saying that Trump.
Yes, but I'm sure there's going to be like polling in terms after this. Like, we got some immediate polls, but I'm saying wait a couple of weeks to see how people feel about voting for Biden based off of this. You know, so if they're saying this now, but if just overall polling just really tanks, for Biden, which I expect it will, then they may not say this within the next couple of weeks.
Well, you know what? I'll hold you to it. I'll invite you back on. In fact, you know what? If that's the case, if polling becomes really abysmal, I'm gonna have to probably do a Hard Lens Media video special with a lot of people from INN. I'll see if I could reach out to people from Due Dissidence or whoever else to come onto the show so we could talk about this, because this, you know, what's going to happen here in Chicago is going to be unprecedented. There's just a few more seconds, so I want to play here. So hold on.
A very low performance for President Obama. Even he would call it a stinker. And they said if you had believed the pundits in the wake of that debate, Mitt Romney would be president, would have been president after that.
Oh my goodness, they live in their own reality, Colin.
Yeah. So I just think they're saying right now that we're going to stick with our guy. But depending on how polling comes out in terms of, you know, how people feel about voting for him, and especially in light of the DNC, I'm sure that there's still the idea of possibly switching him out. And I'm personally, for one, probably believes, as I said, that they're going to be that demonic and keep him in anyway. But the people are going to say it. People are going to be calling for it.
Yeah.
So
it's the right thing to do.
That's loud. And especially like if Biden continues to gaffe in the way that he has over the next few weeks. Now, granted, I'm sure they cannot keep him in the basement like they did in 2020. They can't do that.
No.
So, you know, so it's got, even with that, it's going to be a question of what they're going to have Biden do to give people confidence that he is capable, like that he's able to kind of move on from this. So it'll be interesting to see what they be able to come up with, but I'm sure the idea of switching him out, I wouldn't be surprised if they do it very last moment. I wouldn't even, I will not put that, I will put that on the Democratic Party to even attempt that, you know, so.
You know what's else interesting, though, is that this talk about succession, Gavin Newsom is not popular with voters. Kamala's not popular.
No.
Biden's not popular either.
No.
And the thing is that perception drives reality. And you want to know what I've noticed, especially for whoever will be a potential successor to Biden, whoever it might be, if the Democrats do follow through with this in August, and that is the voter turnout for all the primaries have been abysmal. If you haven't been paying attention to the numbers, because I've been following the numbers, they're lower than I've ever seen them. In comparison, what we saw in 2016 and 2020 when Bernie Sanders, the nutless wonder, was running against the Democratic Party, the numbers were in the tens of thousands, people showing up to vote.
Yeah.
These numbers barely even get to 2,000 sometimes, and depending on the state. It is not enough. But
I imagine if things numbers-wise are looking like crap, they might have to make some moves. So, again, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with if they do, but we'll see.
Well, here, we're going to time travel, and I'm going to make a promise. I'm not going to pause, because I actually talked about this last year. We're time traveling because the Democrats had the chance, Colin, to find somebody. Simone Sanders discussed Representative Dean Phillips pushing for an establishment challenger. I don't think there's a legitimate appetite for another Democrat candidate. Simone Sanders is trying to steal Chucky Boy Todd's 1984 Ministry of Truth Award. Simone, tell us again, because I remember saying this. Hey, Democrats, remember this moment, and I want to give a huge shout out to Case Study QB for retweeting this. Let's enjoy this, because this isn't what they were saying last year. They said Biden had it in the bag. All what he had, though, was a dump.
The call is coming from inside the House. Which House? The House of Representatives. A moderate congressman from Minnesota is calling on his fellow Democrats to primary President Biden, while Representative Dean Phillips hasn't decided if he will challenge President Biden in 2024. He's encouraging others to, quote unquote, jump in to the race. Here is what Congressman Phillips told my colleague Chuck Todd this morning on Meet the Press.
People want to turn the page. I think that's fair to say. As a Democrat, I adore Joe Biden. He saved this country. He can cement his legacy. My real call to action right now is not about me. The call to action is to ask the president to pass the torch. There is an extraordinary bench of people ready to go, proximate,
who would you like to see in this race?
I would like to see a moderate governor, hopefully from the heartland, from one of the 4 states that Democrats will need. So this is the time to meet the moment. And I'm doing something that I know it's unpopular as a Democrat, but I'm speaking truth. That's my job, my duty.
I met the congressman this morning. He's a lovely man, and yet speaking truth is part of his job, but it's also part of mine. So here's how I see it. I just don't think there's a legitimate appetite for another Democratic candidate.
Evil laugh. Oh, well, are you singing that same song now, Simone? After all, you were part of the Biden campaign.
Actually, she was one of the ones who doubled down. So I'll give it to her that she's sticking to her word. But that doesn't change the fact that there was an appetite for alternative people to make the case against Biden, and they shut that down. And I can't imagine that the calls to switch him out are not going to lessen, even as the Democrats are now saying, shut up, we're going to go with our guy, shut up, and you're going to vote for him anyway. And I don't think that's going to work. And especially if Biden continues to make those gaffes, it's just going to get even louder. And if the numbers prove us right, which I'm sure they will, it's not going to look good for Democrats. It's not going to look good for them anyway. But as you said, we're just going to sit back and laugh. I mean, it's going to suck for us, like long term, but at least we can take some little pleasures where we can get them and at least kind of enjoy the idea of we were right. We knew this was going to happen, and everyone can eat their words. But we'll see. But it'll be interesting for the next few weeks to see if they try any shit or if they just end up sticking with Biden and lose to Trump anyway. So they're screwed either way.
So as a final note, folks, there is no successor. There is no plan. The Democrats never had a plan. Hey, vote blue no matter who. Tell me again, why do I need to take you seriously? So to all the liberals out there who really would badmouth independent media, where are you at? I know some of you are doubling down, but even some of your most diehard supporters and people who back you up, even they're all saying, yeah, Biden did terrible. But then who do you have as successor? Who do you have, Democrats? You're not known to doing anything innovative or challenging the system or fighting back. I mean, who do you have? AOC or Bernie Sanders? Oh, wait, but you're not going to pick those two. You're going to pick who? What? Kamala, who said it was just a slow start? You have Gavin Newsom saying, no, he did a great job. Who do you have? You have no one, and you don't have the great coalition. Gone is 2016. Gone is 2020. But you know what's not gone? My heartfelt laughter at you. So I give you a chance. You could join us. Be part of a post-duopoly. Be a double hater. You'll be free. I understand. I understand that you were in the cult of the vote blue no matter who. I even invite the Republicans to break away. You don't need to listen to them. Google gobble. Be one of us. Be a double hater. Trust me on it. You'll be freer. You'll be happier. And you get to join us in the laughter as you watch people melt down and lose all their credibility on election night. It's going to be beautiful. Wouldn't you agree, Colin?
I agree.